All right, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Very big welcome to Elite Raceway to all our returning viewers. We are happy to have you back with us, and to our new timers joining in for the first time. Welcome. We hope you are able to enjoy tonight's racing. So, yeah, parts of North America were hit with a bit of a snowstorm recently. So, we do hope all our drivers and our viewers are staying nice and warm. But um, but yeah, we do appreciate them still joining in for the race. I do know Guardian's unable to join in due to a little power outage, so yeah, hopefully he's able to join in next week. But yeah, we're here with Tier 2 for round 10 of the season here at the iconic and historic Silverstone circuit. I do see Red Panda is in the live chat letting us know it's going to be raining in about 10 minutes, it looks like, for the qualifying session. Nice to know we have a little bit of a weatherman replacement. Guardians is usually our weatherman for the races, so Red Panda here letting us know how it's going to be. If you could let us know how it's going to be for the race as well, that'd be appreciated. We do appreciate it. Um, but yeah, as I mentioned, this is round 10 of our 12 race calendar. So yeah, three races remaining for season six, and it's been quite an amazing season, I will say. Quite a bit of drama, nice battles from the front all the way to the back of the grid. And really, the championship fights have been quite the thing to watch. It's has been a little bit spicy this season, I will say that. Before we dive a little bit deeper into the championship, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to Tier One, who had a fantastic season on Saturday, or session on Saturday. Once again, commentated by our fellow Dutchman Game Boy. So yeah, be sure to check out that race on our channel. Drop a thumbs up and show some love to the incredible work our commentators do to showcase. Unfortunately, we aren't professionals. We do this for a hobby, and we try to give our best to give all these drivers a bit of the spotlight. So we do have 15 drivers at the moment. However, we are supposed to be having two more joining in. I do believe they joined in. That is Buddha and MGZ as well. And I do see we already have a couple of drivers who are currently putting in a qualifying lap for this 18-minute session. And I do believe the first one is going to be Eingel, who is just about to cross the line, puts in a 129.3, Cowboys for Life right behind him, and is going to put in a 128.0. I do see we have Mahazen, and looks like, did we get 16 drivers? Yes, looks like Buddha able to join into his car right there. But as we ride on board with Mahazne, I do want to mention regarding the championship battle. So Mahazne is leading with a total of 255 points. Uh, we do have in second Omama Shan with 225 points, so a 30 points difference. Looks like Mahazne is going to put the provisional poll at 126.2. And we do have in third Kyle with a total of 219 points. So Kyle 6 points behind Sean, 36 points behind the championship leader. Um, Again, there are three races left, so anything can happen. A simple mistake can definitely change up the grid. And I do see Kyle, aka Ryan. I got to get used to the new name. Ryan just crossed the line, puts in a second right there, 126.3. And Red Panda putting himself right behind Kyle, 127.2. So really close lap times between all these drivers. Ooh, it looks like was that Mahazna? Mahazna turning the car into a lawnmower. Looks like he's gonna give the go to the drivers behind. But yes, Mahazne with the lead at the moment. Looking at the Constructors' Championship, Alpine, represented by Omar Mashan and Guardians, have done a solid job, I think, maintaining the lead in these last two races over the Williams Racing. So, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, Guardians absent today, so Sean will be flying solo for the Alpine. Uh, so has to hold it against the Williams pairing of Buddha and Kimbrough, who are both present here. Let's see, do we have anybody else finishing up? It looks like untradeable teammate is here. Actually, looks like no, he's down on his time. But yeah, we do have quite a few consistent front runners throughout the season. And Kimbrel, I will say, has done a phenomenal job improving. We've seen a lot of improvements from the drivers in the mid pack as well. And Kimbrel, who finished top 5 last week, so has done a phenomenal job. Was I think he joined in 2 seasons ago. Was a little bit of a had a little bit of a struggle getting used to the no traction control, but look at him, has done a phenomenal job to improve. Looks like we do have Hafernix. No, I do believe we have Buddha, who is currently putting in a lap. Buddha, who just joined in during the qualifying session. So I do think MGZ. Let me just double check in case he needs another invitation to the lobby. All right, looks like no. Alrighty, but I also want to give a little bit of a shout out to new driver here today as well, Iparazu, who unfortunately was here last week. I wasn't able we weren't able to live stream the race, but so I will give him the official shout out as a welcome to the Kick Sauber team as a full-time driver for the team, and yeah, was able to score points last week. So yeah, looking forward to see what he's able to do today. But we do have Buddha, who is finishing up here in Sector 3. So Buddha, who has been one of the front runners of the group, has given Mahazna, has given Ryan a bit of a battle. Was leading the championship for one race. Unfortunately, the next race, EA disqualifying him. So yeah, hopefully here to get back a little bit of a revenge. But looks like Buddha putting in a P4 at the moment, 126.8. And we do have a couple of drivers who are currently on an out lap. Looks like Hafernix just finished his. And looking at Tier 1, so we did have Ryan and Omar Shan reserved for Tier 1. I do believe it was a dry qualifying session, so I'm just going to take a quick look to see what qualifying time they were able to put in for that group. And so Kyle managing to put himself in Tier 1 in 4th with a 125.8. So, as I said, gotta get used to saying Ryan. So Ryan, 125.8, currently holding a 126.3, so still plenty of room for improvement. Omama Shan actually put in a... Did he race last week? Actually, no. Mama Shan raced the week before in Zandvoort, so... Ooh, and as I'm on board with Omama Shan, a little bit of a slippery slip. Losing the car, and looks like he's gonna go back into the pit lane right there, so... Let's see who else is currently on. I do see Ryan is. So Ryan, who is currently in 2nd. Mahazna is still holding provisional pole. Looks like Ryan is able to put in a purple first sector there. And I do see Guardians is in the live chat for the YouTube, giving his teammate Omama Shan a little bit of a shout out. A little bit of encouragement. And I do wonder, so I do believe Red Panda said it was going to be raining, most likely in the final. Ryan invalidating his lap time. So Baggins and Beckett is a very tricky part of the track, very common to exceed track limits and even lose the car. We saw that with DRS Maestro on Tuesday. Sorry, not on Tuesday, on on Saturday in Tier 1. Lost the car in Maggis and Beckett's and went straight into the wall. So yeah, something to keep an eye on. We do have Mahazna, who is currently our provisional pole standing at the moment, currently putting his hot lap. So we'll keep an eye on him to see if he's able to improve. Looks like we do have, that's the kick Sauber getting out the way. And we do appreciate all the awareness of the other drivers on the track, making sure you don't get in the way of the drivers behind you. But looks like Mahazne does manage to improve the first sector there. And we do have Gogogun, who is in the front. Looks like he invalidated his lap. So Gogogun, who won last week, Mahazne finished on track in third with Ryan's penalty, managed to secure a P2. So Mahazne up by by a tenth there. And so that is looking to be a solid lap for Mahazne, who, if you're just tuning in, is currently our leader in the championship. And so Mahazne does cross the line, puts in a 126.0. And it looks like Ryan managing to go out once again to try putting in another lap to steal away that pole position from Mahazne. And let's see, do we have, it looks like Untradeable Teammate might actually have improved on his lap time. So he's going around here on the final corner. He's going to put in a 127.0. So he does improve by 0.3. Unfortunately, not enough to get past anyone on the position there. It looks like we do have Omamashan attempting once again to put in another lap. So on the bright side, these drivers, for our tiers, they do have park firm off, so they are able to adjust any tweaks if they feel the car is a little bit too unsteady for them. We did see Omamashan lose it a little bit there on one of the corners. So who knows, maybe tweaking up the setup a little bit, or just trying once again to get that confidence to set in the lap. And looks like he is up on his time. Looks to be about 2 seconds up. And that can actually put him in either the second or the third row. We'll see how much he's able to pick up here on the final corner. So has to make sure he puts in the throttle. Well, does so, and actually puts in a 126.6. So does manage to put himself there on the third row. We do have Ryan, who has currently started his lap, appears to be up on his time. Although we do know how the delta tends to be with this game, so we'll keep an eye on him while he finishes up here in Sector 2. And I do see yellow flags. That might be Angel, who is moving out the way for the drivers ahead. So Kyle here in Magnus Bex, where he did exceed track limits on the last lap, and looks like manages to do really well there. Is actually up by 0.2 there on his time. And I do see Red Panda mentioning it is going to be a dry race for these guys. And Ryan taking a little bit too much of the grass right there. All the drivers getting out the way. I do wonder if he lost a bit of time right there, but we'll take a look right here. He is going to cross the line, puts in a 126.2, so he does improve by 0.1. And I do wonder, NGZ did mention he was going to join during qualifying, so let's see if he needs another invite. So it looks like Gigagoon on a banker lap at the moment. Yes, looks like we do have Vroom and Halfrinks, who are currently putting a lap time at the moment. Vroom, we'll see here in Sector 2 how much he's able to improve, currently with a 128.2. looks like MGZ was able to join in, and we do have Vroom who is actually up by 3 tenths there. And I do see Ryan has retired. Looks like he did have a little bit of an incident. His car on the side there on the track there in sector 2. But looking at Vroom who is going around the penultimate corner right here. And so Vroom does improve, manages to put himself in 8th at the moment with a 127.5. Gigagoon, who is slowing down a little bit, not yet ready to set his lap. And so keeping an eye on the Mercedes of Gigagoon, who, as I just mentioned, won last week and I believe won 3 weeks ago as well. So has established himself as one of the drivers up in the front to give quite the battle here. So keep an eye on him. I do know Mahasna is currently in sector 2 on an outlap, and Gigagoon does have a driver in the front. Looks like the Alpine is going to do well to get out the way there. And Gigagoon is up by 200ths there on his time. It looks like we do have Mahasna right behind as well, putting in a lap time. And Buddha actually up by 2 tenths there. So if he's able to keep this up, he can actually climb up quite a number of positions there. Looking at Gigagoon, who is here in sector 2, coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, is actually down on his time. He has lost a bit of time, but you never know if he's able to pick it up here on these final corners. Still has a little bit of battery left to use, but keep an eye on him to see if he's able to gain a little bit of time here on these final corners. And so Gigagoon is going to cross the line. Does actually improve, but unfortunately not enough to get past Ryan there. We do have YSL Buddha who locks up a little bit there, and he was up on his time there on the first sector, but I do wonder if that may have slowed him down. And actually, no, it looks like it didn't slow him down that much. Of 126.2 puts him there on the second row. And I do see Mahasna is quite slow there on the track. I don't think he's looks like he may have made a little bit of a mistake and now backing out on that lap. And it does look like that is going to be our grid for round 10. So we'll wait for everybody to get back into the pit lane or to finish up their lap. Oh, and I do see we have Bozo in the live chat giving a little bit of a shout out to his ex team. So Bozo, who unfortunately had to back out there from his full time seat, but we did appreciate all the racing he was able to put in for the first number of races this season. And yeah, Iparazu, your replacement for the Kick Sauber team. Let me just give these drivers a bit of a reminder to not ready up. All right, so we do have for our starting grid, we have Mahasne starting on pole position at 126.0. Right next to him, we have Ryan. They're sharing the first row. In the second row, we have Buddha, followed by Gigagoon. This is Panda, or this Red Panda. Oh Mama Shan, untradeable teammate, Exist, Vroom, Hafernix, that is our top 10. Honeyburger, Hulkenbro, Cowboys for Life, Untitled, Angel, Iparazu, and MGZ, who wasn't able to put in a qualifying time due to joining in the qualifying session a little bit late. But Still really close times. I do see a Red Panda thinking he judged the rain wrong in the qualifying session. Yeah, so it looks like it was just a full-on uh dry qualifying session. Was cloudy though. Um, but looks like we do have a bit of sunshine here for the actual race, as Red Panda did mention. Looks like it is going to be a red red race, a dry race. I'm just reading the Discord chat as well. Oh, it looks like Buddha actually saying he could have had pole position. Kyle as well. You never know. It's all the what ifs, as Max Verstappen's best quote. Alrighty, but for those tuning in for the first time, they do have about 3 to 5 minutes break, just to make sure everybody's able to secure their strategies, adjust any setups, any tweaks, and also gives us plenty of time in case the driver disconnects. So, yeah, big reminder to all the drivers to please not ready up. And if I'm not mistaken, we actually had a safety car. Did we have a safety car in Tier 1? We actually had two safety cars in Tier 1. So there's plenty of runoff on this track. But as I mentioned, like for example, DRS Maestro, who uh, but I'm looking at the I'm looking at the Discord chat. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, safety cars. Yeah, like DRS Maestro, a little loss of the rear in Maggots and Beckett's and straight into the wall. Uh, ay, 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 Buddha. Give me a good laugh. I did see the original. I'm pretty sure he's listening. I did see the original quote with with the chef saying if his grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. Ay, ay, ay. But let's see. They do have a couple of minutes here left. Let me just make sure I keep an eye on the Discord chat, get all this information up. And just a big reminder to all our drivers, please, turn one, be very cautious in turn one, especially pretty much that whole opening lap. Uh, you guys will be joining, we'll be very close together, so be prepared to brake early. Uh, if you drive with no racing line, I mean, I'm pretty sure you already know. All right. Mini Tony joining in on the Discord chat as well. Ay, ay, ay. All righty. So they do have the ready up. And so we do have a variety of strategy calls. So we have a couple, it seems, I will take it off right now, but looks like a couple of them choosing to start on the mediums. I did see a few possibly starting on the softs. That might be just a little bit of messing around until the actual start of the race. Um, quite risky, I will say, starting on the softs on this track. As I mentioned, it is quite a lot of runoff. So I'm still surprised that there were two safety cars on Saturday, but yeah. Oh, and that's actually my fault there. Okay, so yeah, looking at the strategy call, so it looks like they did switch off of those soft tires. So we have quite a mix of medium tires and a couple of hard runners as well. Not no surprise, Ryan and Omama Shan opting to start on the hard compounds. We do have two in the back, Angel and Iparazu. So Yeah, actually, quite not a bad strategy there in case a safety car comes in a little bit later. Or we did see a couple of drivers in Tier 1 extend those hard compounds further. Um, it did work out for them when a second safety car did come out. So yeah, we'll definitely see how this is going to go. Mahasna is starting on the medium tire, so he is going to be on a much faster tire advantage there ahead of Ryan. However, if that early safety car doesn't come out, or if he starts losing a little bit of pace there, he might lose it a little bit from Ryan. But yeah, we have seen Mahasna with incredible pace this whole season. So yeah, excited to see what he's able to do. Mahasna, who, if I'm not mistaken, only missed out on one race, and that was in Singapore. Uh, Actually, let me just double check because I do. All right, was that Australia? Yeah, so Mahasna actually it was Italy, it was Monza, where Mahasna wasn't able to join in. And at that time, he was actually competing against, at that time, his rival Buddha. So now, having missed that race, that has given Omamashan and Kyle a little bit an advantage there to close in a little bit on the points. So yeah, let's make sure all this information is up. We're just going to be waiting for the rest of the grid to join in. Alrighty, so it looks like MGZ has joined in there, and we are going to be getting the lights in a few seconds. That is 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and off they go. And Ryan with the, looks like almost a really good start, but looks like Mahazan getting the upper hand right there. We do have Buddha looking to go on the outside. Looks like he's going to slot in right behind. Do we have any movements happening in the back? Let me get those position changes there. All the drivers staying side by side. Oh Mama Shan getting overtaken by a Red Panda. Red Panda on the inside. Nice overtake by the Aston Martin there. And whoa, looks like with those cold tires, a couple of drivers going a little bit wide right there on the exit. And it looks like we still have quite a bit of side-by-side racing. Untreadable Teammate and Hafernix going alongside. And it looks like Hafernix is going to get the upper hand there. And so Untreadable Teammate starting right behind. Looks like we do have Homama Shan and Red Panda. Is Homama Shan going to try going on the inside? Boy, that is very close for comfort. And looks like Red Panda may have gone off. I'm not exactly sure. A little bit of camera angles giving a bit of difficulty there. But Homama Shan getting the move past Red Panda. So really brave move by the Alpine there on the inside. And so all the drivers staying right behind of each other. Mahasnet trying to extend that lead ahead of Ryan. Looks like we do have Untradeable Teammate. Oh, looks like that is Omar Shan, who is off the track. I'm not exactly sure if there was any contact, but Omar Shan losing a number of positions who, as we mentioned, Omar Shan is second in our standings at the moment, right behind of Mahasne. And so we are going to have DRS enabled here on this lap. Mahazan now over a second ahead of Ryan. And so Ryan, our only driver on the hard compounds there on the top 10. And it looks like we do have, looks like that is MGZ giving a little bit of a battle with Vroom. And MGZ not giving it up, is trying to get the move done, and looks like he is going to get ahead. So Vroom backing out of there, and so MGZ gaining the position. We have a couple of other drivers as well getting having a few battles. So Untitled actually getting the move on Vroom as well. So Vroom losing 2 positions right there. I do wonder, does he have any damage? No, it looks like he's just playing it conservative. So I've raced with Vroom, as I mentioned in past streams. I've raced with Vroom for a number of years, and he's quite the very calm driver. He isn't really the type to make any desperate attempts, so yeah, not surprised there him trying to play the safe game. And so looking ahead, we do have Mahasne, who Ryan has closed in. And he is going to get the DRS here on this next upcoming straight, but is he going to try getting the overtake now or try waiting after in sector 3? And looks like he's going to stay right behind, not close enough to make a move yet. And so looking at the position changes, we do have quite a number of positions that have moved around a little bit. Hulkenbro up 4 positions. MGZ with the highest, up 7 positions. So as we see, a lot of movement happening all throughout the grid. We do have Ryan right on the tail of Mahasne, touching a little bit of grass right there, but has to make sure he gets a really good exit here to try getting the overtake done on Mahasne. So he does have the battery, does have the DRS, and is he going to try making a move on the inside? And still staying alongside Mahasne, keeping the defense. And so Ryan, ooh, going a little bit wide right there, but looks like he's going to be able to secure the lead. So Ryan, our new race leader at the moment, Mahasne tailing right behind. I do see we have a couple of other gaps closing in as well. And so looking at the, oh, looks like we do have yellow flags. That appears to be the kick sour of Iparazu there in sector 3. And looking up ahead, we actually have Gigogoon, who has joined the battle as well. Now less than a second behind of Mahasne, right on his tail, sniffing the gearbox. So it is quite a long race. We do have 26 laps of Silverstone. So yeah, the driver's just having to make sure they're able to manage those tires. You don't want to overcook them. And if not, you'll definitely be feeling it here in this sector where our drivers just passed by. But looks like the hard compounds are doing Ryan a bit of a favor there. Mahasne losing a little bit of time. Gigogoon's tailing still right behind of Mahasne. Do see we have a couple of position changes happening in the back as well. Looks like Oh Mama Shan, a little bit of contact there between Untitled and the Alpine there. It looks like Oh Mama Shan trying to get a few money moves after that earlier incident. Again, not exactly sure what happened, but we have seen him climb up the grid, and not surprised due to his pace. He does have incredible pace, but yeah, trying to look for the move to get past MGZ. He is going to get the DRS here on the next upcoming straight, so has to make sure he gets a good exit, and looks like he is. So he is going to get the DRS, is going to have the battery to use, and ooh, very close to the McLaren there, but looks like Oh Mama Shan is going to get the overtake done there. And up in the front, we do have Ryan, who is still leading the race at the moment. Mahasne about less than a second behind. Gigogoon right behind. However, looks like he did go a little bit wide right there, touching a bit of grass. Not exactly sure he's going to have enough battery or the help of the DRS to get the overtake done here. And looks like he's not. So Mahasne is still staying safe in second at the moment and has dropped out of the DRS of Ryan, now over a second behind. And looks like we have a new a new driver to join in on the battle. So Buddha has actually managed to join in as well, now less than a second behind of Gigogoon. Has a little bit of a comfortable gap ahead of Red Panda. I do see we have a couple of position changes happening in the back as well. Untitled losing quite a number of positions there. And it does look like MGZ has dropped out behind of Omama Shan, who was able to get the overtake done on the McLaren. Looks like we do have in the front Hafrenix and Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg trying to defend against Hafrenix there. And so Hulkenberg, who's one half of the team battling for the constructors. Oh, Hafren is going a bit wide right there. And that is going to let Omama Shan through. So Omama Shan, a man on a mission, as I mentioned, has incredible pace. And with those hard compounds, looks like that is going to benefit him quite a bit. And so up in the front, we still have Gigagoon right behind of Mahasnet. And we do have Omama Shan right on the tail of Hulkenbro. So we will be keeping an eye on those gaps to see who is going to be able to make the overtake done first. Gigagoon actually closing in quite a bit on Mahasnet. Mahasnet trying to use that battery to try remaining ahead of the Mercedes there. And looks like the Mercedes not close enough to make a move yet, but we do have Omama Shan who is going to get the DRS. Looks like he's going to close in and is able to make the overtake done on Hulkenbro right there. And I did notice that we actually had a driver up in the front. So Gigagoon picking up a 3-second penalty there. And that is going to hurt him considering how close those top 5, or actually top 4 are. And so Ryan, who is now 2 seconds ahead of Mahasnet, doesn't have any pressure from the driver behind. And who is currently third, as I mentioned earlier, third in the championship title at the moment. Looks like Gigagoon is going to be pitting. And I will say this is a very tricky pit stop because we have seen multiple drivers pick up a 10-second penalty for exceeding in the pit lane. So yeah, very good of him to keep the delta right there. We have a couple of other drivers joining the penalty party as well. So Untitled picking up a 3-second penalty. Eingel as well, a 3-second penalty. And looks like Gigagoon is going to be losing a couple positions right there. It is a very long pit stop. So yeah, it is going to hurt him a little bit, but we'll see his pace with the hard compounds. We do have right here Hafrenix on board with Hafrenix on the Aston Martin, looking to get the overtake done on Hulkenbro. Not using battery yet. And it looks like Hulkenbro is going to remain ahead of the Aston Martin right there. We do have Cowboys for Life not close enough to get an attack done on the McLaren up ahead. Oh, and I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be the Kicksauber of a Parazu. And we have a couple of gaps that have opened up, and oh, that is Hulkenbro losing the car there, coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, and that is going to allow Hafrenix to go right through, and Hulkenbro is going to be losing multiple positions there, dropping down to 12th now, and looks like he's going to drop down another position as Untitled attempts to get the overtake done. However, Hulkenbro trying to defend for his life for that position. And Untitled going a bit wide right there, but looks like he's going to stay right ahead. We do have a couple of drivers already switching out of those mediums, so that is Hafrenix and MGZ into the pits. And looks like up ahead there might have been a little bit, I did see a brief yellow flag, not exactly sure what happened there, but Red Panda losing a position there to Omama Shan. So Shan doing really well to climb, as I said, it has incredible pace. We have seen him climb up the grid before after an incident. Yeah, Omama Shan now up into 5th. And I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be Hulkenbrough. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him coming out of the pit lane there. But we are not even halfway through the race, and we've had quite a bit of quite a lot of action happening all at once. I will say that. And so Mahasna, honestly, Mahasna for these last three races, I don't think he'll be exactly putting in a lot of pressure on himself. He's in a comfortable spot. Oof, Cowboys for life picking up a 10-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. As I mentioned, it is a very tricky pit entry. Uh, yeah, Mahasna, who his main rival at the moment is Omamashan. Omamashan, who is 30 points behind of Mahasna. If Mahasna is able to score a podium and Omamashan doesn't, that would be actually incredible points for Mahasna's lead. Um, as I mentioned, Ryan is 36 points behind of Mahasna for the championship. So, yeah, even with a P2, that would be an incredible finish for incredible points for Mahasna to capitalize and try maintaining that lead. It looks like we have a little bit of a battle here between Honeyburger and Vroom. And Gigglegoon with the fresh set of hard compounds, getting the overtake done on Vroom, trying to get a 2-for-1 special. Looks like not able to get the overtake done on Honeyburger yet. Has to be a little bit patient here in Sector 2. Does have a much better tire advantage there. But he is going to get the DRS and the much better grip, and so he's going to get the overtake done nice and easily there. And up ahead, we do have Mahasna, who has pulled the trigger, switching out of those medium tires. I do wonder where Gigglegoon is going to come out there. So the Mercedes pitting 2 laps prior to Mahasna. And Mahasna exiting out the pits. Looks like Gigglegoon is going to come out ahead, having pit earlier. But Mahasna with 3 lap younger tires, I do wonder how he's going to use that to his advantage, try closing in on Gigglegoon. And it looks like up in the back we still have a battle, so that is Haffernix, which with this fresh set of medium tires getting the move done on the Kick Sauber, so pushing himself up to 9th now. And so looking at the pit stops, oh, that is Ryan picking up a 10-second penalty there for speeding in the pit lane. And that might actually really hurt his chance for a win. But we have seen Ryan come out on top. Is another driver with impeccable pace. We've seen him, if I'm not mistaken, last season started last and still managed to win the race. And if I'm not mistaken, with a pretty good gap as well. But yeah, that is still going to hurt him a bit. So 10 seconds for Ryan. He does have Buddha, who joined him in the pit lane as well, so he's going to be coming out right behind him. And Gigglegoon, who actually managed to get the overtake done on Buddha as well, is going to come out less than a second behind of Ryan, it appears. And I do see we have yellow flags. I might be Eingel there, and looks like that is Eingel having a little bit of a spin there on the final corner, who's struggling a little bit to keep the car straight. I will say, Eingel kind of reminds me a little bit of Kimbrel when he started out, so I am very much looking forward to seeing the improvement Eingel is going to be able to do. Hopefully next season when he joins in, if he signs up for another season as full time. But yeah, we always welcome our new drivers learning traction control, which is not an easy thing, especially those who do it with controller. So yeah, big shout out to him. But looking up in the front, so Ryan now on the fresh set of mediums. Gigagoon right behind, less than a second. Both of them with penalties. Ryan with a 10-second penalty, Gigagoon with the 3-second penalty. And Mazda, Mazda in a really good position here. Looks like Gigagoon, oh actually Mahazna picking up the fastest lap. So if you're tuning in for the first time and unaware, we do reward 2 extra points for the fastest lap there in the top 10 drivers. And so yeah, Mahazna, a quiet assassin, trying to gain as much points. He did mention that in an interview, if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks ago. Just wants to score as much points as he can. So yeah, consistency is key. So Mahazna just has to make sure he keeps the car on the track within the limits, and especially try avoid getting those penalties. Oh, looks like Red Panda getting the overtake done on Iparazu, who is currently on the grass. Looks like struggling a little bit with the 12-lap-old hard compounds, losing a few positions there. And so looks like all the drivers except Honeyburger and Iparazu and Eingel not pitting yet. Vroom trying to get the overtake done and not able to get alongside yet. Is going to wait a little bit. Eingel picking up a 3-second penalty, going off track just a little bit there. And it looks like Vroom trying to get the overtake done on the outside, is going to get the DRS, does have the battery to use. Eingel trying to defend that position. I did see a little bit of contact there, but looks like no harm, no foul, just elbows out. And Vroom getting the overtake done on the Haas, so moving himself up to 14th at the moment. Oh, as I switch over to Omama Shan, Havernick's a little bit of a wiggle there, and looks like that is going to cost him a little bit, as Omama Shan is going to have the battery and the DRS to use and is going to get the overtake done on the Aston Martin. So Omama Shan pushing himself up to 6th after qualifying quite well. Unfortunately, losing out quite a number of positions there on the opening. If I'm not mistaken, that was lap 1 or lap 2. But with impeccable pace, climbing himself back up to 6 at the moment. And so Omama Shan, I'm actually just noticing this. So his strategy call is going from hard compounds to another set of hard compounds. So it looks like I do see that is yellow flags. That most likely is Eingel there in sector 1, and looks like Ryan actually stealing the fastest lap from Mahazna at 129.0. And looks like we do have, as I switched over to Honeyburger picking up a 3-second penalty there. So we have quite a number of drivers with the penalties. So just looking back at it once again, Brian with the 10 seconds, Cowboys for Life also 10 seconds, Gigagoon, Honeyburger, and Untitled with 3 seconds, and Eingel with 6 seconds of penalties. So yeah, the drivers just have to make sure they keep the car on the track within the track limits. Jeez. And I don't think in Tier 1 we had a lot of drivers with penalties. I could be wrong. Actually, no, I'm lying. We did have actually quite a few drivers with penalties, track limit penalties. But anyways, Honeyburger getting the overtake done on Cowboys for Life. Ooh, I think struggling a little bit there, and looks like a little bit of ghosting. But looking at our drivers ahead, Mahazne remaining less than a second behind of Gigagoon, and Omamashan trying to extend that gap despite those 10-second penalties. So Ryan almost 4 seconds ahead of Gigagoon. Mahazne right on the back of the Mercedes is going to have the DRS. However, it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to get an overtake done yet. But of course, you never know if our drivers are able to appeal those penalties. So we do say it's fair game until the end of the race when drivers are able to submit their appeals. Of course, yeah, if I were Mahazna, I'd probably be a little bit calm and just trying to stay within the penalties and just hope he's not able to get rid of it. But a win is a win. But Angel with picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So we've had 3 drivers, it looks like, who have exceeded the pit entry speed. And so Mahazne is still not close enough to get an attack done. We do have Omamashan tailing right on the back of untradeable teammate. Omamashan with a 1 lap younger tire, but it looks like untradeable teammate is going to remain ahead. No overtake done yet. Red Panda right on the back of the McLaren here of MGZ. But looks like, unlike the other two, looks like Red Panda might actually be able to get the overtake done. Looking to make a move on the outside. And is he going to be able to make the move stick? MGZ trying to defend that position. Both of the drivers giving each other plenty of space right there. And looks like Red Panda trying to go on the inside. Not able to get the overtake done. Remaining on the outside now. And MGZ doing really well to defend that position. That is great side-by-side racing, I will say, between these two drivers for that period. But Red Panda is going to have the DRS here on this next upcoming straight, so another chance to get an overtake done. Has to get the throttle down really well here on the exit. Looks like he is, and so Red Panda with the DRS is going to be able to get the overtake done and is going to remain ahead of MGZ. So Red Panda moving himself up to 7th now. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe all our drivers have pitted. So looking at the position changes, so the McLaren of MGZ actually climbing up 9 positions there. And we do have Cowboys for Life and Untitled as well, climbing up 3 positions. So as I mentioned, quite a number of movements happening all throughout the grid. And looks like Mahazne closing in. Oh, that is the Haas of Eingel going side by side, and thank goodness for ghosting. Jeez. So Mahazne, as I mentioned, does have 3 lap younger tires than Gigagoon. Gigagoon, who had pitted earlier, looks like isn't going to get Mahazne isn't going to be able to get the overtake done. Has to make sure he. Not exactly sure if that was a corner cut, but Mahazne having to make sure he's able to keep the car within the track limits. I did see another 3-second penalty, and that is unfortunately the Mercedes of Exist picking up the 3-second penalty there. So we have still a couple gaps closing in. So that is Mahazne on Gigagoon. I do see untradeable teammate on the back of Omamashan as well. And Ryan still trying to maintain his lead, 4.8 seconds ahead of Gigagoon. Mahazne, who, as I have to continue mentioning, is our championship leader at the moment, is within the 10 seconds of Ryan there, and Mahazne trying to get the overtake done. Looks like he's going to try making the move on the inside. And Gigagoon trying to keep his position there on the inside for the next upcoming corner, but looks like Mahazne might actually get the DRS here. And actually, no, looks like Gigagoon might get it. Actually, did nobody get it? It looks like nobody got it. That is mad. So both of them losing a little bit of time there from Ryan. So Mahasna has to keep that in mind. He is 6 seconds behind of Ryan. That is Ryan with a 10-second penalty. And in the back as well, untradeable teammate trying to close in on the Alpine of Omar Shan. It looks like not close enough to get an overtake done. I did want to take another glance at the Constructors' Championship. So as I mentioned, the Alpine are currently leading. Yeah, they are currently leading a total of 299 points, and only 15 points behind is the Williams team. So, as I mentioned, Omar Mashan, our lone wolf for the Alpine team today, with Guardians absent, and the Williams team, Buddha and Hulkenberg, both of them present. So, both of them with a really good opportunity to capitalize some points and try retaking that lead from the Alpine. And with with Buddha finishing ahead of Omar Mashan, that can actually be some really good points for the Williams. But once again, looking at our top three drivers, Gigagoon still under pressure by Mahazne. Mahazne with the battery and with the DRS, is he going to be able to get the attack done here? And I do see Mini Tony actually asking if Omar Shan has to pit. So no, Omar Shan actually did pit. Looks like he did start on the hard compound, switch over to another set of hard compounds. And if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have to pit again. So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have to pit again if he went for the harder strategy call. And honestly, with this track, with how tire degradation tends to be, it's honestly not a bad idea. Looks like we do have Mahaznik closing in right on the back of the Mercedes. So another opportunity to get an attack done, and Gigagoon trying to defend that position, and looks like he's going to stay on the inside. Mahaznik trying to go for the outside move, but not able to get alongside there. And Omar Shan now picking up a 3-second penalty. And regarding Mini Tony's question on if he needs to run two separate tires, so technically you're supposed to go on one tire or harder. So for example, softs, you could go medium or hards. If you start mediums, you have to go to the hards. If you start hards, if I'm not mistaken, you can stay in that compound as long as actually, yeah, you can. You can go hards to hards. So you just can't go lower. So medium to soft, so you'd have to go back to another set of tires. If that made sense. Because I'm not really good at explaining things. But anyways, we still have Mahazne right on the back of Gigagoon, who has that 3-second penalty. Looking at the gap, Mahazne still remaining within the 10-second penalty of Ryan. So at the moment, it looks like he's going to be 6 seconds behind of Ryan. And looking at our other gap, so untradeable teammate still behind of the Alpine of Omar Mashan. Omar Mashan with the 3-second penalty. I do see a couple of movements happening in the back. Looks like Vroom getting the overtake done on Untitled. And going a little bit wide right there. He did pick up a 3-second penalty for track limit, so has to make sure he's able to avoid another penalty there. But looks like Mahasna is still trying to get the move done on the Mercedes of Gigagoon. And I will say, Ryan actually doing really well to maintain those medium tires, trying to keep it ahead of Gigagoon, trying to maintain that gap. And looks like Ryan has pit, and he is going to have to serve that 10-second penalty. I didn't think those mediums were going to go all the way to the end. I'm pretty sure that they were going to be feeling quite horrible, but he is going to serve that 10-second penalty. Looks like he might come out behind of untradeable teammate. I'm pretty sure with how slow this pit stop is. And oh, Mama Shan picking up a 10-second penalty as well. And so he is going to lose positions there, and looks like untradeable teammate is going to come out ahead of the Ferrari. And it looks like we do have a little bit of a battle here between Mahasna and Gigagoon. So Gigagoon with the 3-second penalty, Mahasna trying to take the lead of the race, and looks like he is, and is going to come out ahead of the Mercedes, although the Mercedes trying to get the attack done and try retaking that lead, and the Mercedes there on the outside looks like he's going to remain ahead. Mahasna doing well to break early, and looks like he's just going to let Gigagoon through. And so 3 laps remaining, and it looks like Mahasna in a really good position to capitalize on amazing points for the championship. So as I mentioned, Omar Shan is second with 30 points behind of Mahasna. Omar Shan with the 13-second penalty might be losing quite a number of positions there from Hafernix and possibly Honeyburger as well. Ooh, and I do see we have yellow flags. That appears to be the Mercedes of Exist. Right here where our driver's going to be coming up. Actually, looks like he's there on Sector 1 on the DRS straight. But it looks like he's not going to get in the way of our drivers here. But Gigagoon still defending the position from Mahasna. We have our 2 drivers who just pit. Ryan with the fresh set of mediums. Omar Shan with the fresh set of softs. And a good chance to actually steal away the fastest lap. I just believe that is still held by Ryan with a 129.0. But it does look like the gaps have opened up. Mahasna is still remaining behind of the Mercedes of Gigagoon. In the back, we do have the McLaren of MGZ behind of Vroom. And also further in the back, Cowboys for Life on the back of Hulkenbro as well. But Mahasna closing in on Gigagoon. Is going to try attempting to make a move on the outside. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? And trying to use that battery to defend that position. Is going to stay right on the inside. Both of them a little bit of a love tap there between the 2 tires. But looks like Mahasna is going to slot right behind of the Mercedes there. And we are currently on the penultimate lap. Gonna give me a little bit of a heart attack with these risky attempts. So as I mentioned, a great opportunity for Mahasna to secure maximum points ahead of Omar Shan and Kyle, aka Ryan. And it looks like Ryan is gonna steal the fastest lap. Actually, he steals it from himself, a 127.5, so he does improve. And I do see that is yellow flags. That might be... not exactly sure who that is. That might be Omar Shan. Actually, looks like that is Omar Shan, who appears to have lost it there on the final corner and has lost the position to Hafernix. And as I mentioned, does have that 13-second penalty, does have Honeyburger within that penalty range, MGZ as well. Vroom, if my math is mathing, might actually get him too if he's able to stay within those 13 seconds. But we are now heading into the final lap. Mahasna doing really well to remain behind. Gigagoon has kept it consistent throughout the race, I will say that. And so is he going to try attempting a move here? He is going to have the battery. He is going to have the DRS. Looks like he's not going to be close enough yet. Gigagoon trying to break off that slipstream and is going to keep it ahead. There is a bit of traffic up in the front, but looks like those drivers aren't going to be close enough to interfere with our drivers here. And so Gigagoon with a little bit more battery than Mahazna, is he going to be able to defend here on this next upcoming DRS straight from the Haas? He does have that 3-second penalty, but as we mentioned before, you never know if he's able to appeal that penalty and get rid of it. But Mahazne closing in, Gigagoon remaining ahead and just has to make sure he keeps the car straight here on these final corners to secure that win, or that on-track win. He is going to lose the position from Mahazne due to the penalty. And so Gigagoon is going to cross the line for the on-track win. However, he's going to lose 2 positions actually, because Buddha was actually within that 3-second penalty range. And so Buddha securing a P2, Gigagoon a P3. Do we have any movements happening in the back? Untradeable teammate looks like he's going to be defending against Ryan there. And we do have Omama-shan with the penalty as well. Looks like Ryan not happy with the with his race. And that'll be annoying if it does mark him as DNF, and looks like both of them looks like Gigagoon as well leaving the session. So that's a little bit of annoyance for us admins who do have to tweak up the application that reads the race results. So please keep that in mind to our drivers. Looks like up in the front, Mama Shan trying to defend that position for MGZ, and looks like it's still going to lose it due to the penalty. So 13 seconds on penalties, that's going to drop him down 4 positions. And and we might have a final battle here as well. Cowboys for Life getting the overtake done on Iparazu. So Iparazu trying to defend that position. Looks like he's not going to be able to, and is going to lose the position to Cowboys for Life. Cowboys for Life putting himself in 13. Looks like that is Iparazu losing the car there. And Untitled looks like it was a little bit slow there on the exit. And so Cowboys for Life gaining 2 positions there. I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting that. And just waiting for our final driver, Hulkenbro, who is looking to maximize some good points for the race. Oh, and it looks like Red Panda was right. Hards to hards isn't allowed unless you're using wets and intermediates. That is right. So yes, unfortunately, both. Actually, no. Ryan did switch over to the medium, so it looks like Mama Shan forced to do the the second pit stop. But anyways, looking at our final grid, we have Mahasnet for the win. Maximum points for him to actually secure really good points for the championship. Really well done by him. We have Buddha in second, Untradeable Teammate in third. And so that is going to be our podium runners for round 10. From fourth all the way to the bottom, we have Ryan. We have Ryan in fourth. We have Red Panda in fifth, Hafernick sixth, MGZ seventh, Room eighth, Honeyburger ninth, Omamashan 10th. That is our top 10. Ryan picking up the extra 2 points for the fastest lap as well. In 11th, we have Cowboys for Life, 12 Untitled, 13th Exist, Iparazu 14, Hulkenbro 15, Gigagoon 16, but I have to adjust the stinking standings now. Eingel in 17. So that is going to be our final results. So I'll have to adjust that afterwards. So I'd realize I read it through anyways. But really, really good job from all the drivers. And yeah, round 10 out of 12. So we have two more races after this. Next week is going to be Imola, and the last race is going to be Shanghai, China. So yeah, really good points for our drivers. I do believe this helps out the Alpine team as well. I'll have to take a look at that afterwards in the standings. But if you are looking to take a look at our championship standings, you can actually keep an eye on them on our Instagram. So that is Elite Raceway, uh, our Elite Raceway Instagram channel, where we'll be posting our full standings. So yeah, big congratulations to all our drivers. We also have our Gnosis Division 1 group racing in about an hour and 15. And yeah, we also have our Gnosis Division 2 group on Wednesday. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Give us a like and subscribe. Subscribe so that you can get the notifications for our live streams. And yeah, we appreciate all the drivers who are able to join in, our viewers who are joining in as well, and also for those giving me a little bit of update on the track on the tires because I haven't raced in like a season or two, so I completely forgot how this goes. But like I said, we're not professionals. We just do this for a hobby, and yeah, just to make sure we give all our drivers a little bit of spotlight. So yeah, we really do appreciate all our viewers, all our drivers joining in today. We can't wait for the final two races of the season. So yeah, we do appreciate all the drivers who join in. Everybody have a good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from, and we'll catch you guys on the next race.